All right, we're going to talk about solving this mixture problem. Actually, I'm just going to spend my time right now setting up the equation and using this little chart over here that I like using with these. First things to do are to identify what we're mixing and what we're trying to get to. So in the end here, we're trying to mix two things. In this case, what we're mixing is a 30% solution with a 60% solution, and we're trying to get to a 33% solution. It's important always that we have to, in this case, when we're mixing, our final amount here, our final result needs to be somewhere between those two. It can't be greater than the biggest or less than the lowest rate right there. Okay, then what we're going to do is translate the information into rates. In this case, it's percent of alcohol. So as a rate, I'm going to write 30% as 0.30, 60% is 0.60, and 33%, our ending rate is 0.33. All right, and then I'm going to find any other information I have in this problem. In this amount is the quantity, or in this case, the milliliters of stuff I'm using. And what I'm told is I have 100 milliliters of this final 33% solution. So in quantity here, I have 100 milliliters of this 33% solution. You'll notice I have blanks for the 30% and the 60% solution, the amounts or the quantities. I don't know how much those are, but actually that is the goal of this problem, is to figure those out. So what I'm going to do is to define my variables to be those amounts. I'm going to let X represent the quantity of the 30% solution that I'm using, and I'll let Y represent the quantity or amount of the 60% solution that I'm using. All right, those are the main steps every time I'm doing one of these mixture problems. If I'm using this table where I have my two mixed things I'm mixing in the first two rows, and then this final result in the bottom row right here. I fill in the information for my rates and quantities if I'm given them, and then I always calculate my amounts by multiplying my rate times my quantity always equals my amount. And so I'll just multiply these rows straight across. 0.30 times x is just 0.30x. 0.60 y times y is just 0.60y. And then 0.33 times 100 is 33. All right, that's how I complete the table. And then the equations, if I create the table correctly, the equations always just come from the table in this way. I add these first two rows to equal the last row. And this only happens in the quantity and amount columns right here. And so my two equations that I have from the quantity row or column, I have x plus y equals 100. And in the amount category, I have 0.30x plus 0.60y equals 33. And here is my system of linear equations that I could use to solve this. And again, x represents the amount of 33 or 30% solution I would use, and y represents the amount of 60% solution I would use.